Hello, so today I will show you the methodology to measure coral growth and mortality. So what we're doing, this is a part of the project that's going on ZOE. It's the monitoring of growth and mortality of Agaricus tetanifolia on ZOE and Cozumel coral reef restoration platforms. So the objective of this section is to compare the growth rate and the mortality on ZOE, which has a 6-volt electricity and electrolysis going on the structure and on the platforms without any electricity. We are also measuring a lot of different variables and parameters to see, to have the difference between the two sides. But right now, this presentation is aimed to really show the methodology of measurement. So the first measurement was made in July 2021, and the second measurement we'll be doing will be in November 2021. So right now, we are going to analyze the data of July 2021 to the T0, the first measurements. So what do we measure? We measure first the initial area of a colony, which is the whole coral with the living area, and if there is also the dead area. So when you can see the limits of the whole coral, that I will show you example later, but it has to include also dead area of the colony. So of course we want to have the living area. It can be the whole colony or only a few patches. We also want to see how much of the colony is dead. So it's the percentage of dead area, the percentage of mortality, and also the percentage of bleaching. So the dead area that we're measuring, we are measuring ancient death, which means that there is no living tissue or dead tissue. It's only the skeleton with algae that's grown on it, or if it's really recent, only the exposed skeleton, but no tissue there. And that's the difference with the bleaching, where we'll be including different stages of bleaching from pale to completely white, but without any algae on it. So like recent death and also bleached tissue. Also, we will be measuring the length, the width, the height of the colonies. So just two little things before going on. With Agaricus tetanifolia, we can see that these two phenomena are happening. The fusion, which is two colonies of different genetical origin that fuse together, and this happens quite a lot on ZOE, and also fission, which is when partial mortality occurs and divides the colony and creates small patches called isolates that are of the same genetic origin because they're from the same colony, but are not completely separated by dead areas. So we are also counting the numbers of isolates per colony. So we are working on the ImageG software. And so there are different steps to measure first the initial area of the colony. So we'll be showing you live how to do that. The PowerPoint is also available normally. So when you open the software, the ImageG software, you have this, and then we're going to open the first picture. So file, open. And we're going to start maybe with the small colony to make it easier. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. So these are the photos that we took with the quadrats to ensure that we have the same angle and same distance to the camera. Because Agaricus tetanifolia has a lot of leaves and 3D structure, so we really want to have a significant representation of that and be sure that when we do measurements later, that is going to be of the same angle. So the first step that's really important is to set the scale on the image. So to do that, you're going to trace a line. As you can see, we took picture with the ruler here, and we're going to zoom in to see the numbers. To do that, you do Control and then you scroll. And the place where you're scrolling is where you're pointing at. For example, here I'm going to scroll there, and on the ruler, I'm going to scroll here. So the first step is to select the line tool, which is here, and you're going to trace a 1 centimeter here, 1 centimeter line. Okay, And now we want to say to the software that this is 1 centimeter. So we are doing analyze, set scale. So the pixel of the picture are 64 and the known distance is 1. And in the unique on length, you can put centimeters. And then you do OK. So now we have the scale that's set. To be sure, you can go into analyze, measure this line, and as you can see, in the length is 1 centimeter. So we have the scale well set. Now what we want to do is to measure the initial area of a colony. So as you can see here, this is this whole thing that we'll be measuring, including the dead area of the colonies. So now I will be selecting the polygon tool here and navigating by zooming in and out, I will be tracing the whole contour of the colony. If sometimes you have, you feel like you've put a point not at the right place, once you finish the selection, you will be able to modify that and to replace all the points that you think you didn't put good enough, but you can't do that when it's still when the polygon is still in the process of being done. Okay, so now I just did my whole colony, and to close it, I go on the first point and I click, and our selection is complete. So this is the total, the initial area of the colony. So I want to measure it. I'll go to Analyze, Measure, and here you see the area is 7.86 square centimeters. So that's our initial area measurements. So what's really important is always to save your measurements. So what we do is we go into the Excel database. You go into the reference of the colony. Let's say that it's, I don't know, for example, it was on the platform 1, it was 1 or 3, this colony here. And you go into total area and then you write the measurements that you just measured. Okay. Now what we want to do to be able to work easier, we will be clearing the rest of the image to just have the colony. So we do edit, clear outside, and then we have our little colony alone. We want first to save a really good HD image of the colony. So we do save as JPEG, and then you save the name of the colony, 1U2 image, and then you save that in the folder. On the PowerPoint, you will see more details on where to save things. I'm just like showing you on the image here what's going on. So we have our HD image saved and our initial area saved. Also, what we want to do is every time we're doing a measurement to have the measurements and the selected area kept in memory. Because when we'll be doing the second measurements, if there's someone who's selecting a bit differently the colony, it's important to really have that in mind and to trace the same things. So we do a screenshot of this, and then we save as name of the colony, and here we have the initial area, and then we save that. So we're done with the initial area measurement. So yeah, you're gonna have this HD image that you have on the lower part of the screen. And you have here on the PowerPoint all the details of all steps. So for the mortality and bleaching, we will be doing one measure for the mortality and one measure for the bleaching. So we're not including all of them in the same measurement. So you keep in mind that you already have the scale set up from the first measurement. So you will be going still with the same image that's cleared outside. And now what we will be doing, you still go with the polygon, and then you trace around the dead area of the colony. And here, like on this colony, if you have various what you will be doing is you're going to press Shift and click on where you want to start, and then you stop pressing Shift, and you can have another polygon and another one here, and the last one, oops, and the last one, Shift, click, and the last one. I'm doing this quickly just to show you how this is going on. Okay, so now we are all our dead areas selected, and again, we're going to measure, and we have 1.9. So that's the area in square centimeters of the dead area of the colony. So we go into the database, and in dead area, we write this measurement, okay? And again, we did a new measurement, so we going to take a screenshot of what we did here, and then we save it as 1U2 dead area, and then it's saved. To make sure that maybe if the next observer is going to select different area or didn't select this part here, you have to make sure to see, oh, okay, was it already done when we do this, when we did the first measurements while you're doing the second one, okay? And so that was and it's the same process for the bleaching. It's just that you're going to enter in the database bleached and not dead area. So, and the last two things that we're going to be doing is length and width. So the length is this part here. It's the maximum length of the colony. And the width is the maximum width that you can measure that is perpendicular to the length. So again, the scale will be set from previous measurements of this colony. And now to be able to have two lines together, we will be doing this. So you here, you want to measure length and width. You press T, and then this ROI manager windows will appear. And you draw your first line of maximum length, which is this. To make sure, if you're not sure that you're actually the biggest, that's the length, the total length, which is here, 4.2, you measure, and if you think it would rather be like that, you have to measure, and no, so the biggest measurements is here. Let's trace it. Okay, you trace your line, and then you push add. So you have the coordinates of this length. And then to be able to have still this line here, to have to trace a perpendicular line for the width, you're going to select to tick the box, show all. And then you can trace your perpendicular line. And with the middle dot, you can check that it's still perpendicular, but like you can see if it's somewhere else, and it seems to be here, the widest part. It's perpendicular, you add it, and then this one is selected, and analyze, measure. Okay, and you will have, there you go, here. And so last thing, what you can do also is you can clear measurements, previous measurements each time you're doing screenshot. You're going up here and you do your screenshot and you save it as length and width, name of the colony, length and width. And you add it always, of course, to the database here, length and width. And so that's it. It's really important to keep in mind that we have to save all the time the measurements and to save the screenshots of the measurements, to have them as a base and to really see what did we measure on this colony on the first measurements to avoid any error. So here are the few tips. It's always important, of course, to set the scale before doing a measurement of a new colony and to save everything in the folders. So I think that's pretty much it. Here are more details about how to save measurements on a folder that you can see. You can create a colony analyze folder inside the folder that you're measuring. For example, platform 1 here, I add colony analyze, and that's where I save everything from image G. And the database, that's Excel, and that's it. Thank you very much. I hope everything is clear and that you will be able to help with that. And thank you so much. Bye.